I'm so excited to hear about, and the fact that in the same award cycle, you are nominated for two very different shows. And so first of all, congratulations on your two ASC award nominations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And so I guess chronologically, what came first, Chef's Table or Hacks?
Yeah, this I've been really lucky to work on these two shows, and over the last couple of years, I've been going back and forth, shooting a season of Hacks, and then sort of over the summer doing a couple of Chef's Table episodes. The Chef's Table episodes are really fun. It's sort of like a vacation. You get to take the crew from Hacks internationally. This particular episode was shot outside of Naples, Italy, so it was a dreamy summer. So I've been sort of do-si-doing and going back and forth between the two. Chef's Table, I shot the first episode of the series back in 2014. I think at this point, I think the longest running Netflix series still going. So it's really exciting to have the work on the show recognized after all these seasons, and I'm just so excited for the whole team.
What's it like going back and forth between these two different types of content? Is there anything about shooting a comedy that informs your more documentary food type of cinematography and vice versa?
Yeah, I think that on Chef's Table and with any documentary, but on Chef's Table, we're trying to make cinematic and have our visuals be worthy of the subjects that we're profiling, these great chefs and all around the world, and accurately portray their stories with the wonderful visuals that they deserve. But it's a documentary, so you're coming into a working kitchen and you're making small choices that end up having big impacts. What lights are you going to turn off? What time of day are you going to shoot there? And you're really working with, what's in front of you as opposed to sort of altering it. With Hacks, you're obviously, you're starting with just a script and a page, and you're finding the locations in a narrative scripted thing, and finding locations and really, designing things from the ground up. I think I've learned a lot shooting Chef's Table and documentaries about how to make a beautiful image with very little, and have tried to bring that to the scripted work as well.
I guess I'll ask about both of them individually. With this nominated episode of Hacks, what were some of the challenges? What are you proud of accomplishing with it?
Yeah, this episode was in the second season of Hacks. The first season was set in Las Vegas. It follows the story of Deborah Vance, a Las Vegas comedy icon. She lives in a huge Las Vegas mansion. She performs at a Las Vegas casino. Our season 1 locations were like all of these just grand, incredible spaces. Season 2 found her on the road, kind of reinventing her comedy act, traveling to dive bars, having conversations in tiny green rooms, small comedy clubs. And I think the challenge was taking the visual aesthetic that we developed in season 1 with the grand locations and sort of applying it into these smaller spaces and making the whole thing sort of feel cohesive and of the same piece. In this episode, she's traveling in a tour bus, which we constructed on our stages. Our production designer, Al Contestable, just did an incredible job building this Deborah Vance tour bus. And the biggest struggle was, shooting these scenes and making them feel like the bus was in motion and like this was a real working tour bus. I remember during prep, I asked my line producer if it was possible for me to ride around in an actual tour bus, and they found one that was kind of, I think it was Travis Barker's bus or something like that. And I was able to spend an afternoon riding around and shooting video with my iPhone and doing a little bit of a light study, and then brought that video to my gaffer, Daniel McNutt, and my key grip, Randy Garcia, and we schemed some ways to sort of replicate the way that the light moved in the actual tour bus on our, freestanding set. We deployed a mix of LED lights that were fluctuating and concert movers that were sort of sweeping through the space, and would keep referencing the iPhone videos I'd shot and try to just dial it in to be exactly, as close of a match as we could in spirit.
Right. Yeah, no, that totally makes sense going about it from that way. Yeah, that's super cool to be able to be, you know, record something with your iPhone and be able to use that as a source material to try to match to make it realistic. Yeah, that's really creative. What's it like, you know, going from that to like macro shots of food? How do you film food and make it look beautiful? How'd you do that with the pizza?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think like you know, like I said, I started on Chef's Table back in 2014, and when I showed up on set, like we were in Australia shooting at a beautiful restaurant, Attica, with this great chef Ben Shuri, and he was just, you know, he was making us these dishes, and they were just so stunning. It was the first food I'd ever shot, and I didn't sort of know like. I don't know. I just sort of treated the dish almost like it was an actor. You know, just like kind of, you know, shoot it the way you would a person. So it's like, you know, can you put it in front of some natural light against a window, and just sort of like experimentation and playing with it. And I don't know, I tend to think like through my own like naivete or like my lack of knowing all the tricks of food photography. That's how we sort of stumbled into something unique and special with the photography on that show. Um, this season we were shooting pizza, which is a challenge. It's, you know, it's shiny and reflective and flat, and like how do you get, you know, depth and just make it as beautiful as it is in real life on screen. And you know, I think we've sort of, the approach on Chef's Table is to be story first. You know, Franco Pepe, the pizzaiolo that we're featuring here, he has this beautiful restaurant in Caiazzo, Italy, outside of Naples, in this mountain town. And we arrived early, the director and I, Brian McGinn, and we scouted locations, and the light was just like so gorgeous. And we just really wanted to capture like the essence of those early days traveling in Caiazzo. And so we shot the pizza like under, you know, natural sunlight or like replicated sunlight, and just tried to like capture the spirit of like what we were experiencing there, so that the food was sort of representative of that. And yeah, I think it's really fun. It was like, you know, it's just like fun. It was almost like film schooly. It was like, you know, we were over the top of the pizza and like pushing some sunlight against it with a little bit of like a dappled, you know, tree that Randy Garcia, my key grip, was sort of gently moving, and just trying to capture the essence of that place.
When you're shooting something like that, how much of the food do you get to eat?
So much of the food. I'm not going to lie, it's the best job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
sounds
a
pretty much like the
wonderful,
best
it's a
job.
treat. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a dream job. And yeah, we love making them. And you know, it's very special. I love Franco Pepe so much. He's such just a wonderful person, and to like get to know these chefs just on like a friendship level is just a special thing. And then you know, with that like comes a lot of responsibility, I think, as a filmmaker, because you're profiling them, and kind of, you know, putting this story out in the world that you're hoping like just like is representative and worthy of their story. And so we're just, you know, trying our best in the limited time we have to like accurately capture that. And it's fun, but there's also a lot of pressure.
Yeah. No, it sounds like there would be, but I mean, I think that that's what's so unusual about Chef's Table, and what, you know, has probably been part of its longevity is the fact that it doesn't just feel like like another food show. There's a real human element, which is really great.
Absolutely. It's all about like the great stories, and Brian McGinn and David Gelb did just a wonderful job like curating these rosters of chefs for these seasons, and it's great.
So what's it like to be nominated not once but twice in the same year?
Yeah, it's a thrill. It's like it's surreal. I'm you know, I think like there's it just is like, it's so special. Like the ASC is so special, and you know, its members are sort of, you know, my career idols. So to have this work be recognized is great. And then, you know, like I said, there's a ton of crossover amongst the hacks and Chef's Table crews. And I'm really lucky that I get to make both of those shows with like my dearest friends. So to have like everyone's work recognized is just like really, really special.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful that you're able to work with so many people that you admire and get along with, and be able to go from show to show with them. That's really the dream.
Yeah.
So out of, you know, your fellow nominees' work in your categories or in any other category, is there any work this year that especially inspired you creatively that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Oh my goodness, yeah, like so much work. I mean, I think like in the half hour category, like the DBs in that category are just incredible. Just, that is like a stacked category. I'm like so honored to be amongst, you know, all of them, like Carl and Christian and Steven on Atlanta and on Russian Doll, like all just beautiful, beautiful work. I just watched in the documentary category All the Breeds. And I know that's a trio of cinematographers, and I thought that was just like a stunning piece of work, and like left you just like the opening shot. I don't know if you've seen it, but like the
I
opening
have
shot
seen
with the
it.
rats, it's like unbelievable. So
Yeah.
there were so many frames in that I thought were just like, how did they do that? Can't wait to see them at the awards and pick their brain and
Yeah.
steal all that stuff. It was just so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's a lot of phenomenal work this year, and it's really exciting to see so many people getting recognition for doing things really creative and out there. Whether it's 3-minute shots of rats or what you've done, highlighting food or shooting one of the best comedies on TV right now.
Oh,
It's
thank
really
you so
cool.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you.